This conference
Here
will
at We
now
Are
be
Well,
recorded.
and just like Marcelo said, we are a wellness broker helping corporations all across the country with vendor selection, consultants, just overall wellness information on how to really bring in some good wellness ideas to their corporation. So the webinar, the demo platform that we'll do today is one of We Are Wellness's exclusive partners. They are Wellness360. Founded and ran by Srini Vanakuri, who will be on our call and demo later in this webinar here. But for today's purposes, we're going to look at a comprehensive wellness platform called Wellness360. And in that particular two-sided move, we're going to look at the user-facing side as well as the admin-facing side. So keep in mind, all the images, all the logos you see today can be completely customized to your group, to your opportunity, to any of your corporations that you want to really bring this to. So on the broker side, this is what we do from where We Are Wellness, is just find some great solutions and bring them to our opportunities. So without further delay, we're going to get right into the user-facing side. And again, all the images can be customized to really what you want, as well as that logo, as well as the URL that you see there too. So security is paramount. We're dealing with personal health information, so username and password is something we take a very strong stance on, making sure all users get their own username and password. And when we log in, we're going to see a classic dashboard, as many of the wellness platforms have out there. As you see here, it's just at a glance for a lot of these boxes that, again, can be customized to you, all the images, all the logos, but we want to give that user experience something easy to do. I know many of you have seen a lot of platforms out there. We've really taken a lot of cues over the years with trying to build this platform and make it really user-friendly. Big buttons, bright colors. We want to make it super easy for that user to enjoy this particular platform from the minute that they log into that. And we found something called an onboarding checklist, some easy ways to get that engagement. Engagement is key. I don't care how cool or new or expensive or cheap your platform is. It's only as good as those who participate in them. And to do that, we want to get them kind of exploring through the platform that has nothing to do with losing weight or lowering cholesterol or getting steps. So we found something very successful. It's called an onboarding checklist, where we're asking them to set up a profile, invite some friends, set some goals, fill out that health risk assessment, and even connect a fitness tracker. And to do that, you're going to get points. Let me just fast forward really quickly on the points. It's the carrot and stick approach. I'm a certified corporate wellness specialist. All that means is I can really help you build a program and find the best ways to get that engagement. They're going to ask, what's in it for me? And we do want to have a incentive structure on the backside of any one of these platforms, because that's where the engagement's really going to take place. So in our onboarding checklist, in this example, we're just going to offer some easy points to do some easy onboarding things that have nothing to do with eating right or getting steps. So we like to really start with that particularly first thing that this user experience is going to be, is working with that onboarding checklist. So from there, I'd like to get into the user settings real quick. I'll get into the app and devices, but there's something really unique about this platform that I like. It's in regards to privacy. We are dealing with personal health information. So in this particular example, I love the capability that you can share your information publicly just with the friends that you are friends with on this platform, or privately, meaning, hey, no one can see my stuff. So I like that particular opportunity right from the get-go. Also, apps and devices. We partner with all the big guys in the play space here. So Fitbit and Garmin are ruling that area. If you have a Fitbit or any one of these devices, it's easy just to toggle that on and off right here from those user settings. Same with some nutrition, same with blood glucose monitor, blood pressure monitor, and even a wireless scale. That ARIA scale is pretty popular too, so we can toggle that on, and you can really send that data of your daily weight if you choose to do that right to the platform. So back to the dashboard, again, just wanted to show you some really quick user experience scenarios of, once they get this invite to participate in the platform, what's the first thing they're going to do? What's the next thing they're going to do? I've seen a lot of these platform webinars, and I just want to see if I send this to my employees or even me, what am I going to be participating in? So I wear a Fitbit. Many people do. If you don't have a Fitbit, I'll show you quickly that you can pull the information in from your mobile device that sometimes you have in your purse or your back pocket. I'll get to that on the trackers on what you do when you want to just use your phone as your tracker there too. So let's look real quickly at that dashboard. As this user scenario sees, they've connected a tracker now. They're seeing what at a glance they might be participating in. We have a lot of the deep content of challenges that can be rotated through this particular user. You can see where your news feed is. We have some great social capabilities of seeing what your coworkers or friends are doing on the platform. You can see leaderboards based on location or department, really offering that competitive aspect between you and your coworkers, where you can give like some thumbs up, some digital high fives, things like that. And then we see our point structure, what you're doing as you progress through your challenges and what kind of points you're getting and what you can redeem those points for. I'll get into that in regards to having kind of the e-gift card strategy or the possible fixed budget where you kind of giving away company swag or items, hats and shirts and things. We can also tap into your yearly activities like a physical exam, a flu shot, maybe even a COVID-19 shot, but also like mammograms or prostate checks. You can really give good chunks of points for those one-time-of-year activities. Another exclusive feature is tapping into coaches. We have a capability of bringing in your registered nurse or your trainer here in the health professionals team portion of the platform, where this user could have or share their biometric information if they choose, or they can ask a question, even book an appointment with that particular health professional. So we can tap into your Rolodex of coaches or trainers and really give a picture, a bio, a little bit more about them, and offer that next level push that user might look for. Down here, we have a great partner called Self-Help Works, a pretty popular vendor in many platforms where they give online videos on several different options of categories. I'll show you those too. And a daily health tip that will change, and some virtual badges, again, just to give you some good pats on the back of how you're progressing through some of your challenges or steps or whatever the employer might be setting up for you. In the user scenario, after you kind of get an idea of logging in and setting up your profile, setting up your device, the health assessment really is the next best move for this user. This is a pretty popular health risk assessment based off a University of Michigan health assessment. It takes about 10 minutes, and it has gender-specific questions. And in those categories, they could be medical history, prevention, nutrition, exercise, alcohol, tobacco, stress, safety, and biometrics. And that will generate a wellness score. In that wellness score, you will see levels of could be at-risk pieces. In this scenario, we see this user could be a smoker. And in this, really at a glance, we see the risk level is in tobacco, possibly some body mass index too, but this will generate a wellness score. You can come back in and fill this out anytime you want, but it's a really good starting point for this user to understand and be aware where their health might be. In this scenario, it is a high risk level for tobacco. So maybe this employer is looking to generate some smoking cessation programs and giving them maybe an endpoint to say, listen, you got 6 months to get yourself back into a low risk. Let's ask you to take that health assessment 6 months down the road there too. But a great tool just to have that user be aware of their health and really get them started on that better pathway to health. You know, the overall piece of any one of these technologies is behavior change. We're trying to get that user to engage in this piece of technology to change their lifestyle. And that's where we do a lot of questions and saying, well, why do you want to get into this wellness game, Mr. or Mrs. Employer? And that's where we want to have a starting and ending points to make sure that that user is changing their behavior and we're incentivizing them to do so. So continuing down into the user scenarios, touch base on the self-help work series of courses. These are pieces of content that are ready to go on day one. weight loss, smoking cessation, alcohol, stress. 90-day walking challenge is one of our most popular here. Really easy to launch on that day one. Diabetes management is also a close second. That also often leads to a lot of other health issues, a lot of other claims costs on managing that particular disease. Sleep improvement is an undervalued piece of wellness, and eating for health is also ready to go. These are videos. We found the engagement of videos is much more engaging because they're easy to watch. You can't fast forward through them either, which I think is another piece where you really got to work through the videos that tends to have that user soak in that information much more than trying to fast forward it and just kind of getting it done, checking the box. We want them to really understand a lot more about these programs there. So that's another day one kind of user experience. They're filling out the health risk assessment. They're signing up for online courses. And here's those health professionals. This is where you can ask questions, you can book appointments, even upload a biometric hard copy where that coach can really see where you also might be at risk. So a lot of options to take that user experience to the next level coach. Into our events is a calendar tool where this user can see what's coming up at a glance, that the administrator or even a coworker has invited that person to participate in. So you can click on these, learn a little bit more, view the details, save your seat. We use this example in something like Lunch and Learns, where your employer is offering you a limited seat at a Lunch and Learn table. Maybe not so much in this pandemic, but maybe it's a Zoom kind of Lunch and Learn where everyone can learn how to eat healthy on a budget, and you can save your seat where that administrator can see what kind of RSVPs are coming in for something like a Lunch and Learn. But a lot of information on the challenges, any kind of biometric information can be kind of placed in a calendar tool where if you click on it, you can learn more about it. We also have a financial assessment. Finances in the workplace are a really sensitive subject to talk about from a HR to employee kind of move. So similar to a health risk assessment, we have a financial assessment tool that is super easy to use, and it'll kind of generate the same kind of score, but it's talked about demographics and goals, some income, savings, debt, retirement, credit history, and planning. It'll give you a good idea what particularly score you might be at with finances, and give you some great information on how to really attack maybe a millennial trying to get out of college debt, or maybe the over 50 crowd trying to really plan for the next step of retirement. But a lot of great financial tools right here in the assessment on our financial portion of the program. So the better buckets of wellness, the better engagement you're going to get in regards to nutrition, finances, mental health awareness, physical health. The more buckets, the better engagement, the more data you're going to be able to gather and measure. So into the scenario where that user doesn't have a Fitbit or Garmin and they want to self-report their activity. Great tool to be right here at their fingertips. We know what happens when you self-report. You might fib, might lie a little bit, but that's all right. We want them to engage in the program. So let's say I'm running for 60 minutes. I can punch that in and log that activity, and it will calculate those steps for me. So great tool to use for those that just not so up to speed with the wearable devices, but do want to make sure they get validated for all their movements. So great tool to have. You can even track your water and sleep as well. So great tools to get really nerdy with some of your health, as well as nutrition. It's a great tool to share with coaches too. If the coaches are really trying to manage your caloric intake, you can really see what you've been eating. Starbucks caramel iced coffee. That's probably something I put in there. I had one of those. I think it was a grande. I think it was much more than 11 ounces. I had that for lunch, and I can log that food, and it tells me how much caloric intake or calories I have left in my day. So really great tool if you want to just keep an eye on what you want to watch what you eat, as well as that water intake too. So lots of great tools from that self-reporting tool that the admin can verify on their side if they want to incentivize that too. So moving down into our community section, we have the social aspect here of the platform. It's a news feed. So you can share some information with the coworkers based on location or just your friends within the platform. Again, going back to the settings tab that you can share or not to share, you can choose to do this in the social aspect too. So, but great tools on sharing a picture. Maybe you cooked a great meal you wanted to share, or maybe it's a yoga class that you wanted to send a link to and share it for everybody. But great competition coworker aspect here to really build that internal competition from department to department or from company to company. Great tool internally here, and we'll monitor it too. We don't want anyone to be cyberbullying here, but we just want to give some good virtual pats on the back or share some information in that aspect there too. And in our points section, this is really where it rubber meets the road. We partner with a lot of the big e-gift card companies. Tango kind of rules that space where they got the Amazon, Starbucks, Target, Walmart's, iTunes, but this is where we can help you customize an incentive structure that fits both for your budget and your demographics. So we want to make sure this works for all different kind of companies, and it just might be they might not be attracted or to the e-gift card space. Maybe you have some good company swag that has a fixed budget. We can place those here that we can put values on or points we'll cash in to get these kind of stuff. And I'll show you that on the admin side. But we definitely want to offer those points available to that user. And we can make it points. We can make it any kind of structure that really fits for you. But we do want to offer that back-end incentive structure to make that needle move. So, during the implementation time, we do a lot of discovery Q&As to make sure that we're meeting the needs of your group in regards to that structure there too. So we'll take a look at that in the admin side there too. So really in a short move, this is what that user experience like. We want them to invite some friends. We want them to participate in some challenges. I'll go over the challenges real quick. We have lots of built-in challenges, both on the canned side of it. Canned meaning we got them ready for you to go. We got some basic stuff like the 10,000 steps a day, which is a lot of steps really. 30 minutes of physical activity. Avoid the elevator is always popular for bigger places. We know in today's world, there might be working from home. There's so much content available that you can really incentivize and create content for those at-home workers, even to our executive workers that are there too. So lots of capabilities based in some mindfulness. Let's not forget about our mental health here. It's always been stressed out. It's been a hell of a year for a lot of people. Finding time to relax and stressing mental health is a big bucket of wellness. I've been preaching here for several months now since the pandemic has offered a lot of stress to people, but we do want to be sure we let those workers at home know that we got them too. We got a lot of fun stuff for them to participate in. In regards to the nutritional or our munch side, lots of great challenges to use and to even customize. Let's say you like some things, but you want to change just some text, or you want to create something just for your internal coworkers. As a user, you can have the capability of creating those as well. So we can pick that category, we can name it what we want, we can see if it's steps or calories, minutes, invite some people and create your own custom challenge and blast that out. So we like that option of using what we have or creating your own there too. So lots of good options on the challenge content library there. So that's a basic scenario of what I believe a user does on a daily basis with this platform. We have about 40,000 users right now on this platform, and we'd be happy to give any kind of references needed, but we have some great successes with the customizability of this platform, being able to bring this kind of wellness to that employee level. And that's where we want to build these programs from the employee level ground up, instead of a C-suite executive team kind of making decisions and jamming it down the employees' throats. We really want to build and hear from the employee level and create that program from them and the ground up. So let's move on. to the admin side there. Oh, and before I do want to let everyone know that there are the apps available both on the Google Play and the App Store. I'll show you what they look like. It's called My Health Plus, and again, available on the Google Play Store or the Apple iStore. And it does about 90% of what a desktop version does. So easy to find and looks a lot like this green circle with the white plus sign there. So moving to the admin side, and I'll go through the same process of a user scenario or an admin scenario, how we would get this rolling from the admin point of view. The first step, I'll take a look at the dashboard here just to really add a glance of who's doing what where in kind of an aggregate format there. But we would ask to upload that eligibility file. We're working with your team here to kind of speak your file language, whether it be an Excel or CSV file. We want to make sure we get all that information in the right way with the right format, because when we send these registration emails out, we want to make sure they go through the first time. So they're going to get that registration email right from this admin site, and they can easily manage all the admin capabilities from deleting to resending that email or terminating an employee right from the internal screen there left. So super easy to use from that admin side as well. Going to the challenges when we're creating challenges or events, easy creation tool here where you can kind of use what we have created or create your own. So we got a lot of good places to start with if you want to manage your challenges or create new challenges. Lots of content there. I'll continue to scroll so you see plenty of that content to create. Key West Challenge. That's a new one. But lots of options to use what we have or to create your own, where you would be able to start a challenge as an admin, create, upload images, upload text, upload all the information you want to disseminate to the employees here in that custom challenge move. Super easy to do it, where you can create that category just like we saw on the user side, steps or calories, distance, minute, hours, however you want to measure that particular challenge, and take the next screen down here and move through that challenge and blast it out. So same with events, whether they be those lunch and learns, and you can create those events and again send it out to all the people on your list. And we'll talk about lists too, and what we're able to do with the different kind of list creations, whether to be based on at-risks, based on their health assessment, or if you want to do it by department or location, you can create those distribution lists as well. In our rewards campaign, this is where we're creating that customized structure where we can create a full campaign right from the creation tool, where we can pick a start date, end date, what kind of points they get, reimbursement points, whether they be on one of the built-in categories here, and really easy to create and push out this information on a daily basis. We've had clients where they've set a whole 6 months worth of challenges and information and just kind of set it and forget it. So lots of great tools there to create those pieces of content and blast them out. Here are e-gift card portion. Again, if there's something not here, we have an open API capable of kind of bringing in what you might find better for your employees, but this tends to be a very successful model of the e-gift cards and what they do. Let me go down to the single sign-on settings. Great options for some bigger companies if they're working with a Google-based model where they can use the single sign-on. We have that capability here as well. And into the email templates, where we can create these templates based on location. We have a lot of templates to choose from, but again, changing the company logo to yours, changing all the images and the text, very easy to do and to send those out to those specific lists of people. And our distribution lists are really throwing a good dart on that particular demographic that might be at risk. I like this tool a lot because you're you have the capability of targeting something like that tobacco at-risk demographic and delivering a smoking cessation program just to that demographic. Same with any of these options here. So we really like to create those lists based on the aggregate data that you can see. Given HIPAA and GINA regulations, we want to make sure that we can only see aggregate data. But being able to really throw a dart at some of these specific demographics can really help manage and really move the needle on that engagement. And I'm going to get into the reports, and when I do, I'm going to introduce our co-founder of Wellness360. His name is Srini Vanakuri. And if Srini's ready, I'll make him a presenter, and we're going to go over the analytics portion, analytics reporting tool that is part of the platform here too. So it's a really great piece to bridge the gap between benefits and wellness, and Srini and his team have done a great job on building this analytics package. So Srini, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready, Billy. You can make me present.
There you go.
All right. So, Billy, can you see my screen?
I can see it. Thank you.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Billy covered both the user and administrative platforms. Our analytics is another third piece that integrates both the wellness activities that the user is performing on the wellness platform, including the health risk assessments, biometric screenings, and their daily tracking and the coaching calls with the coaches. And the another piece of the information we are looking at is like how your claims cost, absenteeism, presenteeism is impacting your bottom line. So the way we work with is that the analytics platform, similar to the user and administrative portals, it is also a software as a service platform. And then we will work with you in a consulting mode on defining the data feeds and to get a comprehensive 360-degree view of your total employees' health and your risk analytics. With that, I'm going to go to the next slide. These are the data sources we typically include. So that we will work with you and kind of understand what are the data you have, data points. Health risk assessments, these data, we will get it directly from our platform, Wellness360 platform. And if you are using the biometrics outside the platform, we have a capability to import the biometrics data into the Wellness360 platform as well. And if you have the disease management program that you are running, and we would be able to consume that data as well. So we'll work with your TPA to get the medical claims, payroll, absence data, and from our wellness program, we will get the fitness trackers and the challenges data as well. Once we get all this data in the platform, we will store at the individual level, and then, but once we start to analyze the data, provide the analytics at the group level or even at a subpopulation level. So, and I'm switching back from the PowerPoint to the actual analytics platform. This is what you would look like. So once you log into the analytics platform, once we set up all the data feeds and then configure the platform, you'll be able to see how the change in enrollment, and you can define what a program compliance is. And you can also see that how many biometrics category reduction from high risk, how much of your population, that actually shows you how well your program is working. So at the beginning of the 2018 in this example, compared to that's our baseline year. So over 3-year period, you are successfully managed at least 5% of the reduction in the high risk participants. And you'll be able to see the risk stratification compared to the baseline to the latest, as well as the medical costs, prescription costs, and also we can look into the net savings compared to the trend line analysis from the PwC, as well as the other benchline metrics. We have the industry standard and the other things. So this is the one I really like out of all the reports. So then what this does is it is going to give me a quick snapshot of how many people actually moved from the high risk to moderate risk, how your risk is shifting compared to the lifestyle risk factors. So in this category, from a high risk, you can see that we were able to successfully move some of your high risk population into the low and moderate risk population. And also you can look at how they are shifting from moderate. Some population from moderate, they are moving into the high risk, whereas some population moving into the low risk. So this kind of gives you the feel and how you want to tweak your incentive campaigns or the programs, the disease management programs, to specifically target a specific lifestyle risk that you want to target and achieve the desired outcomes. And the financial impact is really good. Yeah, this is one I was earlier alluding to. So here you would be able to see the return on investment and also the net savings. The return on investment here, not only on the platform, if you are actually looking into investing on the coaching or the disease management programs, we will take in all that information and also look at the compliance rates. Say how many people are participating in the program and how much percentage of the compliance is there. You can see the net savings compared to the PwC trend analysis, as well as also the industry trend analysis. And yeah, again, there are a lot of reports out there. You can look at your claims distribution. You can also look at the high claimants data and caused by the diagnostic categories and the chronic diseases. And we can also take in your worker compensation data and then show you how it will moving from the baseline year to the current year. Again, a lot of these programs is a multi-year programs. So you kind of, the idea is you start collecting the data and you establish your data feeds in the year one. And then in year one, you create it, you draw your baseline. So where your organization total risk and risk analytics are. And then you design your program to move towards your objectives and then start measuring it, see what is working and what is not working, adapt to the change in participants' behaviors, and adapt the program to reflect your goals. This is more like giving you the guidance, like a GPS. And similar to that, you can also look into the gaps in care if you have the preventive programs that are doing this. So with that, I'll give it back to Billy.
Thank you, Srini. Thank you. Yeah, you know what? This wellness game, let me just speak with experience on what the first year of many of these wellness programs end up being. It's just data gathering. And quite often it just takes time to get all the information in so you can see where your starting and ending point really are, and figuring out what you want to measure is sometimes tough to do internally. So that first year is often asking for patience and getting that data, and the more engagement, the more data. And come year two, you're starting to measure those point A's to point B's and taking some of this reporting tools that we have to really starting to measure the effectiveness, the efficacy of the program. So the reporting tools, the analytics package is part of the platform. Happy to guide you through all those if you do end up using this platform. But it is really a great tool after that year one. And trying to pull data in month one isn't going to work. We just need better engagement and more information, and then we can start to figure out what we want to measure there. So that is Wellness 360 in a 37-minute kind of fast-paced move there. If there's any of things saying you would like to see more about these, happy to do some one-on-one demos after this larger webinar is completed. All our information will be in the follow-up emails to the webinar, along with the recording of this link as well. So we'll open it up to the Q&A. Marcelo, do we have any questions from our visitors here?
Yeah, Bill, thank you, Billy. We had a couple questions come in, and if anybody has any questions now, please go ahead and type those into the chat box, and we'd be happy to answer them. One of the questions that came in, is there a minimum number of employees needed to get started on this platform?
There is 100 lives is where we like to start and move that up. If there are any opportunities or companies out there that are under 100 lives, just contact us. We got a few great solutions and ideas for our sub 100 groups out there, but we certainly can cater to those groups. We like to keep the full version of this platform available to groups of 100 or more.
Perfect. And we had another question come in. What is the cost?
Cost, of course, yes. So at that 100 life minimum, we like to start off with a PEPM rate of $4 PEPM. Of course, that number does go down as the size of the group goes up. So at a starting point for 100 lives, it is $4 PEPM. There is a one-time setup fee of $1,500 that you'll see during that implementation process. Implementation process is about 30 to 45 days, depending on the customization that you might need for the platform. So we have been known to get a customer set up in much less than that, but on the average 30 to 45 days. So if you want to work backwards from your potential start date, that's the number to use. And don't forget about that incentive structure as a budget line item beyond the PEPM price and one-time setup fees. We do want to encourage working with you on finding the budget that works for you on the incentive side of it there too.
Awesome. And how would somebody get a quote?
Okay, so in the follow-up emails, you'll see my direct information. You'll have my direct line on that too. We can turn a proposal, just an initial proposal, around in a couple days. We love to do the demo one-on-one if you do need to. So if you're looking for some specific pricing, you'll see my information in the follow-up email that goes out, both with an email and direct line.
And Billy, back to the cost question. What does PEPM stand for?
Sure. Per employee per month. Per employee per month. Quite often in our proposals, we don't tend to nickel and dime you on a PEPM kind of breakdown. That's just what an industry standard kind of pricing falls in at. Usually what we will propose is an annual rate, meaning for the entire year, based on your group size, this is how much it will cost. We don't really have the practice of billing you at the end of every month. That's kind of the old way they do it, but when we're talking about cost per employee per month is an easy way to kind of calculate what your cost would be for your employees based on that month. So in the easy calculation, we would do $4 PEPM times how many people you have in the group times 12 months equals your annual invoice, and that's usually how we bill. So let's say your program starts in January. On 1/1, we deliver that invoice to you, and we'll give you 30 or 45 days net to pay that, and that's one payment for the entire year plus your setup fees there too. So we won't bill you at the end of every month. We don't figure that to be the most professional, best bookkeeping way for the platform. So we tend to give you a year-long proposal, and that's much better for everyone's accounting purposes.
Perfect. I think you covered that very well. I think that is all the questions we have for now. Well, we got one more. Is the $1,500 per company that we set up?
That is a one-time setup fee per company. Yeah, that sounds like it might be a reseller question, which we can address offline there too, if you want me to give you that person's information. But if you're the corporation and you want to bring it in for your employees, that $1,500 is a one-time setup fee only.
Perfect. Thank you. Yes, it is a reseller question. And yes, we'd be happy to talk to you individually if you have any more questions or would like any more information.
Yeah, happy to address and put me in touch with that person, and we can. That's just another kind of bucket of proposals that we work with there too. Happy to address that.
Perfect. For everybody else, we want to thank you for attending the webinar. Thank you so much to Billy and Srini for doing such a great job presenting this information. And we want to remind you that you will receive a recap and recording of this webinar, and that is it. We hope everyone has a great day.
Thank you, Marcelo. Thank you, Srini. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.